welcome. You're watching News Epicenter with me, Jihad. Another young actor has died by suicide. Mark my words. I say another. That's how rampant these suicide cases are in an industry that's grueling, fatiguing, and maybe even cantankerous enough for these many victims who haven't been able to deal with its ways. Who knows? From Sushant Singh Rajput to Tunisha Sharma, how many deaths do we need to understand that the question that needs asking is not who was Tanisha dating or what happened in the last 15 minutes of her life? Why did she have lunch with her now estranged boyfriend? Or the worst one, is this a case where another vile usage of the vacuous term love jihad can be plugged? The question to be asked is, how badly was she suffering? Did she turn to someone for help? Does this exceedingly competitive industry even offer help? All of 20, remember? Does it not pain anyone enough to ask why did no one bother to offer her that solace, that shield, that comforting shoulder? Why is that atmosphere missing in the Indian television industry? Why are we so busy playing warriors to death, scouting the now dead Tunisha's social media feed and act as body language experts to dissect if she was looking happy or sad getting her makeup done on the day she allegedly chose to die? Ask yourself that.
उसका पहले किसी लड़की के साथ इन्वॉल्वमेंट थी, उसके बावजूद भी टनीशा को उसने इन्वॉल्व रखा अपने साथ। 3-4 महीने उसको यूज़ किया। बस मैं इतना कहना चाह रही हूँ कि इसको सज़ा मिलनी चाहिए, शिजान को नहीं छोड़ना। मेरा बच्चा गया है।
उसने सिर्फ इतना बोला, मैं भी था, उसकी मम्मी भी थी, डॉक्टर भी रहे कि मेरे साथ चीटिंग हुई है, मेरे साथ गलत हुआ है, वो ऐसा कैसे कर सकता है, ये सब बोल रही थी। वो बार बार रिपीट कर रही थी एक ही बात को। बस तभी पता चला कि कुछ प्रॉब्लम चल रही है शहजान के और उसके बीच में।
Now, when I say death by suicide is really plaguing the Indian television industry, probably even the film industry, we have data to support it. We have some very, very important figures, very known faces who have allegedly chosen to die by suicide. Let's take a look at what we are talking about. The first one that we have for you is, of course, Sushant Singh Rajput. His fans have yet not been able to come to terms with the actor's death, and we all know how this sent shockwaves across all of 34, and he chose to allegedly die by suicide. Then there is Vaishali Thakkar. She has been part of very, very important shows like Ye Rishta Kya Kehlata Hai, Sasural Simar Ka, very, very popular shows. She, in fact, died by suicide. In fact, also left a suicide note that read that her boyfriend was harassing her. That's another story. Kushal Punjabi, 42-year-old, found hanging in his apartment at his Mumbai home, allegedly was suffering from depression. That's how bad it was. Sejal Sharma, 25-year-old, she was found dead in her flat in Mumbai. Another case of death by suicide. Asif Basra, who doesn't know about him, 53-year-old actor who was last seen in the web series The Family Man 2. He also had hanged himself in his Dharamshala residence. Jia Khan, of course, another high-profile case, 25-year-old. She was, in fact, found hanging at her apartment, and her then-boyfriend, Suraj Pancholi, was also accused of abetment to suicide. Now, as we talk about abetment to suicide, after Tunisha Sharma allegedly killed herself on the sets of her television show on Saturday, her co-star, Shizan Khan, has been booked for abetment to suicide. Now, according to the FIR, based on the statement of Sharma's mother, the two actors were in a relationship and had broken up just 15 days back. Sharma, in fact, was said to have been very upset about this breakup, and Khan has now been arrested. So what exactly is abetment of suicide under the law? And how does a court determine if a person is guilty of it or not? Let's take a look at that first. Now, we're talking about abetment to suicide, what the law says. Now, a person who tries to instigate someone to go ahead and die by suicide, he is the person who is the abettor. Not just that, if somebody goes ahead and assists or engages in a conspiracy to commit this offense is also an abettor. So he can be accused under this. It is punishable under Section 306 of the Indian Penal Code, and it is an offense which is cognizable, non-bailable and non-compoundable. So cognizable, it doesn't require any warrant by the court before that person is arrested. Also, this is non-compoundable. Even if the parties choose to go ahead and withdraw the case, they're not allowed to do that once a person is booked under abetment to suicide. That's how big this is. It is also punishable up to 10 years or a fine or both. The fine, of course, is given to the kin of the victim in this case. There are two primary ingredients of this particular crime. If we are talking about how does the court determine whether it is abetment to suicide case or not, the first one, of course, is to go ahead and ascertain that this is a death by suicide. It's a suicidal death that we are talking about. The second, of course, is the intent of the accused to abet that suicide, whether there was body language or something that led to that person who was drawn or pushed to dying by suicide. The statement uttered in haste wouldn't amount to abetment. This is a very important point. If somebody goes and says, go die, or says something in anger, cannot be considered abetment to suicide. The court further looks at this entire process or whether there was a controlled harassment of the accused in this case, because of which a certain person chose to die by suicide. Only then it is treated as abetment to suicide. Let me now open this debate that we are having today, an important one, to our guests who are joining us. Mohit Abrol and Athar Siddiqui, both actors, also working with Tunisha on the sets of that very television show that where she chose to die by suicide. They are joining us. Dr. Nisha Khanna, who is a clinical psychologist, is also with us on the broadcast. And also with us is Dr. Vikram Singh, who is a former DGP of Uttar Pradesh. Athar, let me begin with you. We were talking about how exceedingly competitive does this industry go on to become? And Mohit, this question is also for you. Since both of you knew Tunisha, did you actually see her suffering?
Actually, I've worked with her. On set, she was very friendly, very cheerful girl. While working with her, it's like a positive environment, always. Whether you are tense, you are stressed out, or you are having some kind of a work pressure. But talking to her and seeing her smiling is like everything is just vanished. She was a very positive person. Her smile is like, it does wonders. So I enjoyed working with her. On every scene, it was like working with her is just such a smooth kind of a thing. So I have never seen her getting depressed or in some sort of a trouble, some kind of issue going on with her. I can never imagine that. I have mostly seen her, you can say, smiling and all.
Why I went to go on and ask that question is because there are, as per reports, there are some statements that have just about come out, and they are attributed to Shizan. And Shizan, in fact, has reported to have said that Tunisha probably also attempted to die by suicide a few days earlier, and he was the one who stopped her. Did we know anything about it since you guys were working together on that show?
I don't have any idea about this. Or
okay, Mohit?
I last visited the set 10 days back, so my track was on and off.
Okay, Mohit?
So
any idea?
The time when I had visited the set,
okay.
See, I never heard about anything like this, but I heard that she was taken to a hospital few days back. But that was kind of an anxiety attack she had or something. So that's the only news that came from the set to me.
So are you talking about this being a news, or did you guys know about it? That there was an anxiety attack?
To know it from, No, I got it. I got to know it from the set itself.
Okay.
Like I wasn't there, but my friend called up and told me that she had an anxiety attack and she was taken to the hospital. And the rest, like about her, she I've never seen her depressed on the set. And she was always a happy soul. Yeah. She used to have fun. She used to like play around. She used to come to my room. She used to call me Paji, and we used to listen to Punjabi songs. We had a Punjabi connection, me and Tunisha. So I never came across anything which could have, triggered something so big And even Shezan and Tunisha were quite normal on the sets. Both of them were like, they used to have their lunch together. They used to be together all the time.
Okay.
Whenever I used to shoot with them, I've never felt anything like this.
Okay.
Like she would go and she would commit something so, such a big thing she'll do, and nobody thought about it. I guess nobody on the set also thought about it, that she will do something like this.
Okay. Athar, why we also talk about this, let's actually talk about these two people, because unfortunately it is about them and unfortunately also about Shizan. Other than interacting with both of, with each other, did they have friends on the sets? Since you guys, I believe, have joined for the last 4 episodes, you are the new entrants on the show. Did you know anything about that?
No, I'm there from the beginning of the show. So from the launch of the show, I'm there, like from the beginning of the show. But see, we were all very friendly. All of us on the sets, everybody, direction team, us, production, be it the makeup artists, lightmen, spot boys, we all very friendly. So the atmosphere on the set was very friendly. So that's what, surprised me, that she could have spoken about it to anybody, And her mother also lives nearby itself. As in, like, she's not out of Bombay. She doesn't live out of Bombay. She lives in Mira Road itself, which is hardly like 10-15 kilometers from the set. So it's really surprising what she did.
Okay. So Mohit, while you talk about the mother has put out a very, very emotional statement, also a video statement that we also played out for our viewers. Now, she has gone on to accuse Shizan of using her daughter. If you talk about the relationship that both Tunisha and Shizan really shared, because there was some details that the mother also goes on to claim that, Shizan was probably cheating on her. She could not take it well, and that's why all of this happened. Can you corroborate any of that?
See, nothing, because I used to mind my own business. They were together, that's for sure, right? But anything that's going on between them, anything bad or good, so we never got to know anything about their personal relationship, how their relationship is going ahead. And I think the police is doing the investigation. They'll get to know everything, whatever was going on.
Okay. Doc, let me actually take this opportunity to bring in Dr. Nisha Khanna. Dr. Khanna, thank you so much, first of all, for being a part of this discussion. On the one hand, we are talking about what is leading to certain individuals choosing to take this extreme step. And on the other hand, we are also talking about an extremely competitive industry like the film industry or the Indian television industry. The way you've seen this case play out, what do you think happened here?
I think so. Earlier also I said through your channel that one thing is very clear. You have to understand that if any person is taking a step like suicide, the person has some history. Like in today's conversation, it came out to be that few days before she had some panic or anxiety attack, that she was admitted in a hospital. And you have to understand that major of the problems people are having either due to the career, either due to the relationship. So it plays an important role. And when you have the hardships in your life also, personal life, as the father was not there from the very young age, she had seen the hardships. She's working into the industry. I worked with the celebrities from the different fields, whether it is a sports, whether it is from TV, whether it is from film industry. And when I see their struggle, from the very young age, they started working. They don't take care of themselves. Taking care of themselves about talking about your emotions. And when I think so, one of the co-actor was talking about, she has not cheered up. Yes. Always remember, person who is having depressive traits, isn't having anxiety issues or stress issues or any other problem. You go and share your personal problems to them only, with whom you are comfortable. We all I would say, have a face or a mask wear on our face in a public scenario, whether it is our career, whether it is our social life, whether it is the surroundings people. I don't know, but during the counseling sessions, I sometimes got to know people share those things which they never shared in their career or in their life in last 20, 30 years. Okay. I don't know, people comes up and tell, even it is a celebrity. Like I remember I was dealing with some sports team person and the person was saying it that he doesn't even remember that when he sat down and thought about, I have to celebrate my birthday just the way I want to, because I have some commitment, I have to do this, I have to do that. You have to understand that. Okay. Career itself is having a lot of responsibilities over your shoulder. And I think so. Yesterday also talked about the lifestyle. Bombay is a fast-paced city. The Delhi metro cities are fast-paced. So that also plays, the lifestyle also plays an important role. Your own career background, as your industry, the celebrity industry is also, when you are getting work, then there is stress. When you have too much of work, then there is a stress. Another thing, relationships. When any person is into a relationship, I think so. There was one word you chose rightly. I'm choosing to be getting into the person. And I think so she was crying. If the person was dating with someone else, you should feel lucky that before getting serious or going ahead, I knew about that person is cheating me. I think so. If she was so accomplished, why not she thought of that? If this person is rejecting me, I should have another choices.
Okay.
I'm such at that level.
So I'll actually pose those very questions to both Mohit and Athar, because both of them have been her co-stars, but there must be something about the atmosphere on the set. So maybe it's a thing about the industry that she did not choose to probably delve into, or probably was not as comfortable to share with her co-stars, other than a few people who she might be calling her friends. But let me first bring in Dr. Vikram Singh over here. Dr. Singh, there were certain instances that I put out for the viewers when it comes to dying by suicide, and in the cases of celebs. There were many cases from the Indian television industry where it is a similar trajectory. We're talking about, let's say, one person who has died by suicide, left a suicide note claiming harassment by her boyfriend. In the very high-profile death of Pratyusha Banerjee, who became a household name because of Balika Vadhu, there was the family going ahead and alleging that it was because of a boyfriend that she killed herself. So this is a very similar situation. Why are we excluding this particular case and then, let's say, pointing our guns only at Shizan? What is going on here?
It is extremely unfair to point guns at this stage at anyone when the investigation is in progress and at a very, very premature stage. It is only the investigation which will reveal what the real facts are, and it is not in anybody's interest to level allegations, and wild allegations at that. Investigation is both an art and a science. It will incorporate all the ingredients of what transpired between Shizan and the deceased in the last 48 hours, both on WhatsApp, messages, Instagram, other communication systems, and also the calls that were missed, that were made or received by the deceased. This is a matter of investigation. Then what the deceased disclosed to her doctor, as also to her parents, her mother, her uncle, her co-workers, that of course is a very important aspect of investigation. During the course of the program, you mentioned the ingredients of section 306 of the IPC, and this is exactly what is relevant during the course. Allegations do not matter. Unsubstantiated vile allegations serve no purpose. They are not even worth the piece of paper on which they are written. And obviously, if Shizan says that she attempted to harm herself once, it is a medical legal case, did he report to the police or he did not? If he did not, again, it's a serious matter and a cause of concern for Shizan again. Why did he not report the case? Because it is something medical legal. He was duty bound to report and lodge an FIR. And if he did not, well, he has to explain to the police why he did not. Because then he should have given to the doctors, he should have told the parents, and those who were the conscience keepers of the deceased, they had a right to know and a need to know what is going behind the eyeballs of the deceased. Obviously, as Dr. Nishaji has mentioned, that we need to have the shock absorbers and the work-life balance in any case has gone for a toss.
You know, Dr. Singh, while you mentioned that point, all these reports that are coming out, they are obviously being leaked to the media, because I have also attributed to probably Shizan saying that she probably tried to attempt suicide. But all of this, we do not know where are they being revealed to the media from, probably from the investigation or the initial statements that he's made to the police, who knows. You know, don't you think that there needs to be that broad stroking needs to be stopped, and the police also need to be responsible in the kind of information that they're putting out there in public domain?
Well said. Investigation is as sacred as the judicial trial itself, and the police have to disclose only things that need to be disclosed and people have a right to know. All this hullabaloo and the circus going around, wild allegations, as many mouths and as there are views, was best avoided. And it does cloud the judgment not only of the investigators, of the public, and I dare say those who would be deciding the issue also. Let the police only come out. You very rightly said this deliberate, partial leakage by the investigators is just not called for.
Okay, let me bring Mohit back. Mohit, since you have been associated with the show from the very beginning, let me actually bring our viewers' attention to this interview that Tunisha really had given to one of the news portals, where she had said, and I'm quoting her out, "I was suffering from anxiety issues and feeling low even before Internet Wala Love started." She's talking about one of her shows. In fact, she talks about the very point that Dr. Khanna has made. I've been working since a young age. I lost my father at a very early age. She goes on to talk about many other people who she lost at the early age. My schedules turned erratic. I had to consult a doctor. I was diagnosed with anxiety and depression. And then she goes on to say, once she decided to put it out on social media, she was, rather than being acknowledged the fact that she is being brave enough talking about her insecurities and talking about her anxiety issues, she was trolled by a lot of fans who were probably, who had sworn their allegiance to the other actor who she chose to replace on the show. Does it happen to people from the industry? And considering she was very vocal about this fact that she had anxiety issues and she was suffering, she was depressed, why did no one from the sets, for that matter, feel the need to just reach out to her and say, "Are you okay? Are you doing fine?"
Yeah, I think as an actor, we always judged. All right. So even if we are even if we talk about depression or any mental kind of a disease, even in normal, world, even if you talk to your friends, most of the people will end up judging you. So I think it's really difficult for a person to come up and talk about these issues. But she has been so vocal about it, as you said, she has spoken about it in the interview. So I guess I've no clue. That's why we all surprised that why did it happen? She could have spoken to anybody on the set. As I told you, we were all very friendly on the sets. Everybody, we were a good team, all right. So we used to have fun. We used to talk together. We used to laugh together. We used to be dance together on the sets. So it's a mystery to me, as why did she even do it? And that also in the room, as the makeup room of Shazan itself.
Okay, and Athar, the fact that so much is being said about, yes, of course, she was
only
very
20,
young, only 20 years, only 20 years.
Maybe it's difficult at that age to handle pressure. She's a teenager. So it's I don't think if in my age, I'm 33 right now, so at my age I have some maturity. I can handle things on my own. But maybe when you're young, it's very difficult to handle these pressures of the industry, like you said, and relationship pressures. So if it's like a khichdi of too many things. So maybe it's difficult to handle those things. Yeah.
And Athar, the way you see Shazan's name that has been brought into the discourse, do you think it's fair?
Too early to say anything because I don't know Shazan personally. It's just a hi hello kind of a stuff with Shazan on the set. So whatever is happening with Shazan right now, I think police is investigating everything. It's their job to do that, and they are doing it perfectly. So whatever things are coming out, it's been shown to everybody. So I'm nobody to say anything about this because...
Let me actually bring in Dr. Khanna for one last word. Dr. Khanna, here we're talking about an actor who has decided to die by suicide. She's no longer with us. All of 20, the point that Mohit also was making. However, when we talk about her co-star, another actor who has been accused for abetment to suicide, there is so much that is being said out in the open, in the public. There are his family members that need to be looked at. If in these circumstances, if worst comes to fore, he decides to go ahead and take an extreme step, who's responsible for his mental health? Who's responsible for that?
I think so. If you will ask me, I would say we all are responsible. We can say it is a collective decision. It's the family, it's the person, it's the partner, it's the surroundings, because we are so negligent about the mental health. We take this world so literally, and I think so Corona is the times when we started talking about mental health more openly. I think so we have to take it as a collective society step. It is the the industry has to take the responsibility, whether it is a young age or that. I would say there was a person like Sushant Singh Rajput. He was so successful also. He was not in his 20s. You can't blame that it is the age, definitely. In the younger age, you are not that much mature. But because of the relationship, lots of people take their lives. I would say a list of clinics you see, the teenagers comes for relationship problems, family problems, career. These are three are the main parameters why people think either the financial issues, depression is very common.
Absolutely.
And or anxiety is very common. And
absolutely, and it needs to be taken very, very seriously. We cannot be voyeurs at somebody's death, something that I said at the introduction of this very debate that I chose to have. Very important. We are talking about somebody who's lost her life, and we are playing field trying to accuse someone or the other. We have to also realize that if something bad were to happen to this boy, who's responsible is also the big question that we need to ask ourselves. We leave it at that. I'm really sorry, Dr. Singh and Mohit, I'm really sorry. I'm out of time. However, I appreciate you all joining us on this important debate. We leave it at that, slipping into a very, very short break and coming right back on News Epicenter.